All right. Let me get this out the way right quick. I saw the video here talking about a National Indigenous Day, which was yesterday. And this is what happened in Portland, Oregon, a place that's been hardly ever talked about in the past couple years, hasn't it? It's hardly been talked about. You know, good old Portland, Oregon. So let's watch a bit of this. Hopefully they don't copyright strike me for using their footage, but let's get into it.
Leave damage behind. This is the scene at the Oregon Historical Society after a group of rioters came through. All this happening within the last hour. Welcome to 26 News at 10. I'm Wayne Haverly. Portland police declared a riot 20 minutes ago. Now, just before that, down the street, same group.
Stolen land. Oh boy, here we go.
Pulled down and defaced a statue of President Teddy Roosevelt. This will round out a very active weekend of protests.
And they also took a statue down, apparently, of Abraham Lincoln as well.
After a march last night led to dozens of arrests. Our Jennifer Dowling joins us from downtown right now with an update on what's happening. It's been pretty crazy in the last hour or so, and also an update on what happened last night with all those arrests. Jennifer?
That's right, Wayne. We had quite a weekend for protests. So all of this happening tonight started at around 8:30. And as you can see behind me, here's the Lincoln statue here in the Park Blocks area. It has been toppled. We believe that there was a use of a series of chains and pulleys in order to bring the statue down. And as you mentioned, this is not the only statue that was toppled.
Don't worry, I will give my commentary, but
just a block away,
I'll just let them play for a little bit.
The image of him riding on a horse was also brought down in a similar fashion. There are still some chains left on that statue. And then the Oregon Historical Society was also broken into. The glass is shattered at that building there. We saw a security guard monitoring things. We don't think that people got in, but there was a lot of damage there, a lot of vandalism. All of the glass surrounding the entrance has been broken on two sides. And also there were paintballs thrown at some of the murals there. So this is what is happening tonight. It looks like the groups have been broken up by police for now, although we've still seen some clusters of very small groups moving around through downtown just about 20 minutes ago. Last night, a different situation. Protesters said that they were targeted for simply protesting in the street while doing
yes, this is
else.
This is the 93% allegedly that are non-violent protesters, the peaceful protesters that people report on now. And they say, oh, most of it's, you know, it's like people like Vosh who are just like, oh, just a couple buildings that burned down. Who cares, right? Just a couple buildings. Who cares? That's basically his attitude. So it's like, you know, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Last night, officers made a lot of arrests. They said they were arresting people after folks started blocking traffic. So a completely different situation. Take a listen.
Get back! Get out of the street, every one of you.
This is a look at what happened after protesters marched from Alberta
That's the most
Park
goofy,
to the North Precinct. Protesters say
America is a failed state, isn't it? We are a failed state. There's no other way to put it, is there? I mean, the United States is a failed nation. Let's just face the facts. I mean, at this point, it's like, you know, we can't keep Portland in line. We let, you know, Chaz take hold for what was it, like 3 or like 2 weeks or something like that. They were under control. It's like we can't even keep this shit in line. What makes you think that we have any power on the world stage besides financial? And the financial stuff is only a legacy. What is really keeping the United States alive? You know what I mean? I mean, our prestige is in the toilet. And that's not just because of mud drunk either. It's because we have kind of reached that life cycle where we just don't care, and, there are more quote unquote educated people who, it's like, yeah, I mean, you still have lefties who are like, well, we need more people to go to college and be more educated. It doesn't make a fucking difference, because guess what? People get degrees in ridiculous shit like, gender studies and all this stuff. Even, and I know people are going to say, oh, that's a meme though. You can get your degree. And it doesn't matter. Is that society doesn't necessarily need educated people. Education can become overburdensome to a society, But yeah, that's just me. America is a failed state. Yeah. That works. Yeah. Anarchists don't understand nuance. Lincoln wasn't an ANCOM, so fuck him. Exactly.
Police moved in to clear everyone out within minutes of arrival without declaring an unlawful assembly. Meantime, police say targeted arrests were made, adding that virtually all of the protesters wore armor, helmets, masks, and/or carried shields.
Yeah.
We talked to a citizen journalist by phone about what he witnessed.
The protesters linked up, so linked arms and held onto each other, kind of like in a ball. And so the police just pretty much rushed them from three sides and did a lot of pepper spraying and tugging until they were able to separate everyone. It seemed like every person that was arrested was taken to the ground, and many were pepper sprayed first.
John says the situation reminds him of another recent clash during which a protester was injured during an encounter with a motorcycle officer.
Pretty much drove right into one of the protesters as she was kind of shuffling back. And then as he hit her, she was kind of running backwards in a sense.
Who would be a cop, period? But also, who would be a cop in Portland? Who would want that job? Who would want it? It's like you have a target on your back all the time. I would be paranoid as hell. So it's like, no wonder you feel this constant fear. I imagine that, when, you're getting your report, like if you work the night shift and they say, okay, well, looks like Jimmy got beat up by some Antifa guy or something like that. Hey, be careful out there. Okay, guys. It's just like, damn well that, it's like, well, you're not going to have backup come by because that'd be kind of look pretty fascist. So who would want that job? Who would want it?
She was getting hit by the motorcycle and then grabbed onto the front of the motorcycle and then was dragged.
PPB issued a statement saying that officers have attempted to de-escalate in the past by staying far back and not intervening when streets were blocked, adding that the strategy hasn't been successful in preventing violence. John feels this may mean protesters might not get as many warnings before police make a move in the future.
But they'll usually wait for one person to tag a building or throw a water bottle or
honestly, just what, can we just reach the warlord phase? I would compare the United States post Qing dynasty China, where there were all these different warlords that took over various parts of China. It's like we're about to reach that point. Once things finally collapse and we're just going to have warlords that take over various areas. Can we just get to that point? Just get it done. I mean, golly, I know that history, like I say, it's a process and everything else. But of course, just golly, just let's let it happen. Stop trying to fight it. Yeah. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead.
Something that they can use to justify a reason. So last night there was nothing.
Ugh.
All right. And last night, police say 26 people were arrested, many on charges of interfering with a police officer or disorderly conduct. And 40-year-old Eric Gallup of Portland also faced a charge for carrying a concealed weapon. And 35-year-old Jonathan Bordas attempted escape. Police say in an online statement that people were given multiple warnings that they needed to clear out of the streets before they moved in. Of course, that was yesterday. So people were taken into custody and arrested after just being in the streets yesterday. Tonight, a whole different situation. Every protest is different. Every protest night is different. I've been covering this for a while. So tonight, we're seeing a lot of destruction. As you can tell, the statues are down here in the park blocks, and the Historical Society is a mess right now. The glass is broken there. We'll bring you another update coming up tonight on KOIN 6 News at 11 o'clock. Wayne, back to you in the studio.
Oof. Well, there you go. Oof. That's a lot of oof. Yeah. What's going on, Union Army Ball? Yeah. Bring on Fallout without nuclear war, and only America Great Khan can assemble. It's just, yeah, it's ridiculous at this point, man. It's just, what are we even doing? It's like, and I know, once again, I know what people are going to say. It's like, well, actually, that's just happening in Portland because Portland is cringe and, you know, all sorts of folks. But it's like, you know, what's going to happen in these other places? I mean, you know, no place is safe. I'll put it this way. I mean, I hate to sound paranoid, but it's like, you know, little old Kenosha, Wisconsin. And of course, you know, now look what's happened, you know, and all this shit that's going on. Or, you know, Minneapolis, Minnesota. People don't even think about Minnesota in that way. But you're like, oh, shit, that's going on there? You know. So, I mean, it's, yeah. Like I say. I do want to... There were a lot of cringe videos on race and racism that King 5 uploaded. I was going to show them, but it's too much cringe overload. But I do want to look at I want to see if there's any bit more about this Denver shooting here. So this is 17 hours ago. This is Denver 7. Let's go ahead and get into this right quick.
Welcome to this streaming edition of Denver 7 News. I'm Jacqueline Allen. Thanks for joining us tonight.
And I'm Russell Haythorne in for Jason Grenauer. Today, Denver police are trying to untangle what led up to a deadly shooting at a protest downtown yesterday. Groups opposed to the Black Lives Matter movement had a tense standoff with left-wing counter-protesters as the demonstrations began to wrap up. A single gunshot.
The media's fucking it up. Ah! Okay, go ahead.
Was fired.
This man, Matthew Dolloff, is in custody. He was hired by 9 News to protect its staff at the protest, but Denver 7 has now confirmed the city says he was not licensed to be a security guard here in Denver. So he was violating the law. Denver 7's Sloan Dickey takes a look at the confrontation that just in seconds turned deadly.
Photos showing the intense moments as an armed security guard shot a protester following opposing rallies in downtown Denver on Saturday.
Golly.
The shooter, identified as 30-year-old Matthew Dolloff, is an employee of Pinkerton Security.
Nope. Pinkerton. He doesn't work for Pinkerton. That's been already debunked. Go ahead.
He was hired by Denver's 9 News to protect reporters while covering the rallies. The victim, confirmed by family as 49-year-old Lee Keltner, is seen in the photos discharging pepper spray. But is that enough to warrant being shot?
Getting pepper sprayed is not serious bodily injury. You're not allowed to kill someone because they pepper spray you.
Dolloff was arrested on Saturday and is charged with murder.
Ultimately, the only real question is, was he in reasonable fear of imminent, serious bodily injury or death? And as I've said, what I've seen so far, pepper spray certainly does not put you in fear of serious bodily injuries.
According to the Denver Department of Excise and Licensing, Dolloff was not licensed to be a security guard and never has been. According to Denver City...
hold on. See, now, you have to kind of dig here. Is that he was connected with the Pinkertons. And, of course, as we know, Pinkertons were always the strike breakers and would smack people up and, you know, hit them on the head with their batons and shoot people. But, of course, like, this guy wasn't even licensed. So how the hell did he get a job with Pinkertons if he doesn't have any of this shit? You see what I'm saying? Read between the lines, kids. Read between the lines. Go ahead.
Documents, a license and endorsement are both required for plainclothes security guards. Regardless, the same rules apply to everyone using deadly force.
If you are in reasonable fear of imminent, serious bodily injury or death, you can use deadly force. And every one of those words has legal significance.
And there are still questions yet to be answered.
The deceased took a swing at this guy first. You know, it's kind of analogous to a bar fight. It could be second degree, it could be manslaughter, could be self-defense if the deceased had a gun and the shooter reasonably thought he was reaching for it.
The shooter is expected in court on Monday. Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
Thanks, Sloan. Denver police say there were rumors circulating the suspected shooter was affiliated with the group involved in the demonstrations. Officers say they are unaware of whether the suspect was personally involved with any political movement.
Right now,
I'm going to see if they show a video tonight. hopefully they will. They'll show a video tonight that'll describe what actually happened. But yeah, I mean, what this dude have, if they release him or what. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. Yeah. See you later. Yeah. See you later, Union Army Ball. Yeah. I think Cascadia will be great. I hate Portland so much. I'm ashamed to live near it. Yeah. Like I say, man, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't even give a shit about this whole business with Amy Coney Barrett. I don't care. I can't even tell you how much I don't give a shit. I mean, that's my attitude, honestly. It's like, I can't tell you how less I give a shit about this. Oh my gosh. It's just like, the trad casts, the real trad, the real trad as fuck bros are upset because, of course, she adopted 2 Haitian kids. And yeah, obviously they're black. So, of course, I mean, they're mad as hell about that. The thing is, it's like, people are pissing and shitting their pants, acting like, oh my gosh, the Republicans are going to get rid of, Roe v. Wade. Oh my gosh, abortions are going to be illegal. We're going to have to use, get your wire hangers ready, women. Listen, it's just so ridiculous because it's like, no, nothing's going to happen. At least not anytime soon. I don't think that, I think that they are aware that if they do something like that this quickly, that they will get, that there will be more riots that go on. So it's like, I don't really believe this type of shit where it's like, oh, well, we better do something. Oh my gosh. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. Amy is going to change the world. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see, Benedict. We shall see, won't we? I mean, people said the same thing about, Kavanaugh, right? And what has Kavanaugh done? Same thing with, I can't even think of his name now. The justice who, had all this support for, indigenous people, It's like, did he really change that much? I mean, I don't know. Like I say, we'll see. We shall see, Benedict. But, a lot of these so-called conservatives, once again, I mean, conservative is just another word for, it's just basically classical liberal. That's really all it means, at least in my opinion. Conservatism, as it is today, means shit. But, of course, people like Vosh are going to be like, oh, well, of course. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you're joking. Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, Benedict. I mean, it's just so cringe, isn't it, to see this type of shit? And like I say, I really don't give a shit about Amy Coney Barrett. I was gonna say Amy Cohen Barrett. I'm not even doing that as like that's honestly what I thought of her, like Amy Cohen Barrett. It's like, why not just call yourself that? That probably gets you some more but yeah. Like I say, I seriously didn't mean that as a joke or any sort of anti-Semitism, but yeah, it was just, yeah. I don't know, man. Like I say, it's just wild to say the least. Yeah, conservative liberalism versus progressive liberalism. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's literally 2 sides of the same coin fighting. It's like, if you genuinely think that Antifa is going to change something, it's like, no, you're retarded. At this point, it's just like, you're just waiting to see how it's going to collapse, because that the United States is not going to be in the best of terms, and it's just like, people like Vosh, they still hold on to the idea of people like AOC or some shit like that. It's like, okay, I mean, go ahead, bro. I mean, if you legitimately think that AOC is so based and, is so based and progressive pilled, oh my gosh, she did a, all right. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, man, like I say, it's just, if you really think that these, progressive Democrats or Ilhan Omar or whatever the case may be are going to change shit. No, they're getting money. Once again, Ilhan Omar, you can say what you will about, dating her or having a relationship with her brother and all that shit. But guess what? Now she's with a white dude. So once again, she sells out. AOC, as far as I know, she's with, probably some loser or something like that, including Rashida Tlaib. She ended up leaving her Muslim husband for a white dude. So they, once again, they sell out to white supremacy too, right? The thing is, I'm surprised people don't say this, is that, a form of white supremacy would be, even Tucker's more leftist than AOC. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you'll see these folks that are allegedly progressive that, support Islam or whatever the case may be, and then they end up leaving, Islam more and more. They end up just selling out. Not that much. We showed a video about the protests that went on for Indigenous Peoples Day in Portland. They knocked over statues of Teddy Roosevelt as well as Abraham Lincoln. And then we watched a brief video about Denver, and the shooter and everything else. So, but yeah, that's about it, Red Dindonian. Yeah, sorry about my voice. It's just, I've barely been out. I've masked up and everything else, but I think it's just, I've just been in front of the AC. And sometimes, one night when it was kind of cold and it probably just, upset something. So I'm just waiting and seeing. But yeah, I think it's just this fucking, yeah. Anyway, like I say, there's not much else. Just kind of gay. Doing a, what the fuck? What was I saying? But yeah, I guess early voting starts tomorrow. Yeah. Did you hear what happened to the U.S. Army? What happened to the U.S. Army? What happened to the U.S. Army? What sort of gay shit did they do now? Let's go ahead and see here. Why not? Let's go ahead and see. U.S. Army. What did they do? The U.S. Army do some change is a constant flexibility. Let's go ahead and see what's in their news. What's in the news? Project Convergence. The U.S. Army experienced success and failure. All electric. Well, what happened? Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, no corona. Yeah, I don't think it is. But yeah, what happened in the U.S. Army? Let's see here. Let's see here. High-profile test, emerging technology. U.S. Army acquisitions chief. Time-serving U.S. Army solidifies requirement to counter small drones. AR glasses for military dogs. What? First U.S. Army UH-60 Victor released for service. Fort Polk conquered down. Criticized for crazy 1,000-kilometer range super cannon concept. What? Are they ripping off what Saddam Hussein wanted to do? That's a shame. What did they do? Let me see here. Yeah. Oh, their standards are going down fast. No more PT for a long while, along some other lip shit fucking up their operations. Yeah, that's true. They changed their PT program to be such. It really is just shit at this point. It used to be like 2 mile run. Like 50 push-ups in 2 minutes, and like 60 crunches in 2 minutes or something like that. But now they got. Where it's like you're doing a deadlift, and then you're doing sprints and you're doing the 2 miles and shit. It's like some fucked up shit. Yeah, you thought about taking political tests, 8 values. I've done one. I did the lefty one. Yeah, Will DeMarco. If you look on my channel, holy shit, it's been a few months, but I have done a political compass test. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. The United States Army, United States military in general is a joke. With all the whole critical race theory and shit, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. What's that you say?
Oh, there's this factory.
Uh-huh.
It's a popcorn thing.
Yeah.
And there's in Tacoma. And They're making almond roca butter topping popcorn.
Oh, neat. Okay. Huh. I can say. Oh, boy. Yeah, like I say, I mean, at this point, man, it's just like, what else can accelerate things even more? I mean, we have so many things that are already accelerating the end of the United States, at least the, crushing, or at least slowly cracking the U.S. empire. What else is next? What else is next, man? We're going to have rolling black. I mean, well, shit, we've already had rolling blackouts in California as it is, right? So it's like, the shit just keeps getting worse, man. Like I say. And it's probably the best thing for the world in a lot of ways. I mean, if you really want to look at it that way, fuck, I'll just say it. It's probably best for the world that the United States does break apart. And, people come up with some other standards. They won't have to rely on whichever thing, yeah. All you need is a fiscally strong state to split, yeah. Like I say, I mean, it's coming to that, man. It's coming to that. And it's coming quick. Like I say, I mean, my mind is just, like I say, at this point, my mind is just jello. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't really sleep that well, but that's a whole other thing. But at this point, man, it's just like, we're just waiting for the collapse. That's all we're doing. We're just waiting for how it's going to collapse, what warlords are going to take over, yeah. First, for the many, the APFT is gone for good. Once testing suspensions are lifted, the only soldiers required to take an APFT ever again will be troops with a current passing score. Pray for DPRK, cure USA, yeah. Which of your views are left and which are right? Well, left and right, I think are misnomers, but I would say that I support a command economy. Would be more of a left-wing idea. I would say right-wing would be, I don't like abortion. I don't really care for that idea because I think that in general, I think abortion just serves the system. That's all it does. Abortion serves the system to control you, And to me is that there are a lot of folks who have been manipulated where it's like, yeah, you can sleep with whoever you want to, and all you have to do is just go in and, just have a cleaning and whoop, that's it. So, I mean, to me, yeah, that would be considered more of a right-wing view, and they desensitize it, yeah. Immigration, I think should be, maybe I have more of a Donald Trump view on this, but the thing is, get skilled people in. Bring skilled people in. Not, you shouldn't just let, yeah, I think abortion is also murder, yep. But the thing is, yeah, I view immigration as a skills-based idea, and it's also a sense of if they really want to stay, they have to learn the language. This is what we used to have back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s, up through the 60s and 70s possibly, but yeah. Restricted because capitalists don't need more wage slaves. Yep, I agree. We should. Definitely restrict immigration, because, yeah, you get a lot of these idiots like, what is his name? The guy who wants 1 billion Americans. It's like, why would you want 1 billion Americans? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? It's like, yeah, immigration really isn't any good. Immigration is also a factor of climate change. It doesn't make any sense to me where, these folks are like, well, we only have 10 years left. What do you, but once again, nobody has any clue. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glenn Beck, he says it too. Yeah. Definitely anti-cosmopolitan game. Definitely. Like I say, man, it's just, that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at. But yeah. What's my opinion on, hold on. Let me see.
6, conclusion.
Let me see, sorry. What's your opinion on Christianity? I'm all right with Christianity. I am. I think Christianity is killing, yes, but the Rockefellers shouldn't be doing the killing with their eugenics bullshit to see a better population control planning tactic, 1 child per house. Yeah. Christianity, I'm okay with Christianity. I think Christianity needs to go back more towards its roots. Dare I say it, but return to tradition. Yeah. I'm gonna watch your video, man. And I say, you know what? Let's go ahead and shout out to Ole. Why not? Let's go ahead and watch that for a minute. But yeah, only a planned economy can stop climate change. Yep, exactly. But yeah, in general, to answer your question, I'm good with Christianity. Christianity needs to stop getting involved with the secular world, and go more towards its roots.
The phenomenon of national communism was developed where there were strong remnants of the colonial relations. The region of Central Asia was heavily exposed to colonial relationship, which led to a strong manifestation of national communism. Promising slogans of Bolsheviks already in the Soviet East took root extremely difficult because of resistance of the Russian immigrants. Bolsheviks from indigenous people proved to be national communists in this fight. They fought for the enforcement of what the Bolsheviks promised in theory. They had clear ideas about the sorry state of development of indigenous people. Therefore, their social and political activities were not dominated by international influences but by national motives. These motives are clearly shown in such large-scale campaigns such as elimination of the remains of colonial relation, land reforms of 1921 to 1922, the elimination of Central Asia, etc. However, their national biases became the main tool of their political opponents that was skillfully used for removal of national communists from the political arena.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Yeah, my family survives. Yep. A billion Americans, good God. Yeah. My view on capital punishment. Capital punishment to me should be quick and easy. Once again, the United States is very, and of course people will always say, oh, the United States has the largest prison population, this and that. Well, that serves corporations and everything else, but yeah, I would just say is that, capital punishment, depending, I would just say, you know what, make that a regional thing. To be honest with you, make it a regional thing again. There's not this idea where it's just suddenly must state, but I would say leave it in the hands of the city. Leave it in the hands of the region to decide what they want to do, yeah. My family survives if someone wants to sterilize himself. That's Darwinism calling the weak, yeah. Yep. But yeah, making a regional thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that's up to the people to decide, to me. If the regional area, they decide they want to, yeah, you know what? I don't want to go too heavy. I'm just going to say that, yeah, forced labor again. Yeah. Something. Yeah, we need to do something, man. Like I say, but yeah, that's my view. Yeah. Bring it back to its philosophical roots. Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, yeah. And removal. Yeah, and remove Zionist evangelical heretics. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, all these folks like Joel Osteen or Osteen, however we can pronounce it. Yeah, those folks, yeah, evangelicalism, yeah. It's one of those, either convert or, we're going to have an Inquisition, That's what I would say. Bring back the Inquisition and, BTFO, all this evangelicalism, I think evangelicalism is one of the things that have really ruined Christianity, at least in the United States. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but yeah, evangelicalism is cringe. And evangelicalism, a lot of the evangelicals are the ones that really believe that, we're going to, if we support Israel, then, we'll be able to go to heaven and all that sort of dumb crap, but yeah, evangelicalism is a cancer. I'm just going to say it. I'd rather have a Russian Orthodox system than be, an evangelical who says, yeah, it's okay to make money, this and that. Now go ahead and, give me some money so I can, get a brand new car, It's kind of like that bit from Eminem, please, Lord, this boy needs Jesus. Heal this child. Help us destroy these demons. Oh, and please bring me a prostitute. And then, yeah. While my wife's sick at the hospital, preacher, 5th grade teacher. Opinion on Israel. My opinion on Israel is it's not a good thing, but I'm going to be very careful about what I say here. But I would say is I don't care for Israel, but it's up to the Arabic peoples to decide what to do. I'm being very careful in my language by saying Arabic peoples, because I know, yeah, from the river to the sea, yeah. But I would say it is up to the Arabic peoples to decide what happens with Israel. Point blank, that's how I feel. If the Sunnis and the Shias don't like each other, or, they don't like Syria, or whatever the case may be, then let them decide what to be done. Now, of course, that's going to take a lot of compromise. And it's going to take a lot of different deals in the back rooms to decide what to do. But I think that can be done. But yeah, that's my view on it. Yeah, on Israel, and then they can decide what they want to do. And it's not really up to people like me. That's why I don't really talk about Israel that much, because ultimately I feel like it's up to the Arabic peoples and not on me. But yeah, Jefferson Bible is based Christianity's morals without the miracles. But yeah, I feel like, that's where I'm at on Israel in general. Man. You think Jews have no legitimate claim on Israeli soil? No, I don't. Nope, I don't. Like I say, this sort of revanchism would not be allowed by any other country. That's what I would say is this type of revanchism that exists. It's like, well, King David had, Israel, King David settled Israel, so we still have claim to it. This is the same type of shit with, the Spratly Islands, or like, the revanchism of, imagine if Finland was like, hey, screw you, Russia, we're going to take back, we're going to take back that part of Finland that you took in the continuation war. We're going to take that back. Or imagine if the Germans were like, hey, we're going to take back, we're going to take back Königsberg and all these cities that were originally German. We're going to take those back. Imagine, the Russians would be like, yeah, try it. It's not going to happen. But the thing is that Israel, in post-World War II, had all the support that they could muster. And, the thing is that basically, yeah, the Anglos, yeah, Zionism is the solution to the Jewish question. That's a false comparison. Okay, if you want to say that, all right. Jews are just white settlers. Yeah, they really are. So explain to me, Kyle's Jaw. I'll try to finish this up. Why do you think that Zionism is the solution to, what goes on in Israel right now? Because Zionism benefits the Ashkenazi Jew. It doesn't necessarily benefit the Mizrahi Jew or the oh shit, I can't think of it now. Ashkenazi, the Mizrahi, and the it's almost there. Sephardic Jew. It's just like, that's my view of it. It's like so it doesn't benefit all Jews. And how is it a false comparison? I really don't get it. I really don't, because the thing is that, once again, all you can point to is King David. The fuck does that have to do with anything? That's like saying, the Germans should have, that's like saying, well, the Germans should have control over, Ukraine again, because, Lviv used to be called Lemberg, which is true. Look it up. You can find that pretty easily. It's like, well, the Germans created Lviv, so they should be able to get it back. Jews having a homeland is good for them and for non-Jews. No. Nope. We tried that, And then for non-Jews, no, it isn't. No, it isn't, because the thing is that they rely, the thing is that Israel is an artificial country. Königsberg and Israel are a false equation. I don't really know. Once again, The thing is that Israel is is that Israel would not, this is a very symbiotic, but also a parasitic relationship, where it was Austria and the Germans were Mennonite colonies. And okay. Oh, my bad. You're right. Okay. Germans already have their homeland, and they lost Königsberg because they started World War II, mistreated the Slavs. Oh. Really? I mean, is that what you're going to say, bro? It's just like, well, I mean, you could say that the Ashkenazis lost, because of the Khazarian Empire losing. So it's like, so they don't deserve their land back. So because the Germans started World War II and they mistreated the Slavs, they don't deserve it back. Well, that's the same thing with the Khazarian Empire. Well, the Khazarian Empire lost, and the thing is, well, King David lost, and the Israelites lost when when the Crusades took it over. So they don't deserve it back. Just let the Catholic Church rule over Israel again, because they lost it. They lost that war. So why do they deserve it back? Why do they deserve it back? To become relevant in the USA, you have to either join a secret society or some branch of the feds. Yeah. I don't get it. Tell me. Please explain that to me. I think people who criticize Israel for doing mean things to supposedly indigenous Palestinians but live in America, which is Native American, soil to be hypocritical. Oh, boy. So you're saying, okay, so are you saying that basically, once again, are you one of these guys, Ashkenazis or Khazars, who converted to Judaism? That's true. Yeah. So you're going to say, the thing is, though, the difference is that the Native Americans, while some of them live on, it's a wide range of difference, because there are some, in general, the Palestinians live pretty bad. Whereas Native American tribes in the U.S. vary widely. I'll put it this way. Because all you have to do is look at, the Comanche Nation is continuing to buy land because they have casinos. All right? And so they are slowly buying land back so that they can have their own, ethno-state. So I don't really get this idea where it's like, you think somehow that it's okay because, the Native Americans were treated badly. It's like, okay, well, yeah, now we have land back and everything else. So I don't know what you're talking about with that. Yeah, it was fun. If YouTube gets me, yeah. I don't really, so what are you saying, man? Like I say, what are you saying? Yeah. Knights of Columbus and KKK fought with the Cristeros War. There's really a bunch of weird militia organizations in Mexico. Oh, really? I don't really get that, though, where it's like, you think that you can compare the Native Americans were treated far worse than the Palestinians. Yeah. What about in 2020? Could you explain that to me? In 2020, how were they treated? Like I say, the Comanche, for example, have large, amounts of land. They are actually getting their land back now in 2020. So what are you talking about? I don't see any Zionists bending over to give land back to that. Yeah, if you cared about indigenous rights so much, why don't you continue to occupy? You're not very good at trolling. I mean, are you really trying to troll me right now, bro? Are you really trying to own me right now? Are you one of these guys? I was going to ask before. Are you one of these guys that actually Zionism was originally an anti-imperialist idea? Is that what you're saying? So Native Americans are okay with being a tiny minority in a country that form. Once again, Native Americans are not one thing compared to Palestinians. You do realize that, right? So the Comanche, the Navajo, the Cherokee, all these other tribes are vastly different. Do you understand that? Yes or no? I'll wait for your response on that. You realize that these native tribes are not the same thing? Have any tribes formally asked people of non-native descent to leave? Yeah. You do realize that, right? Yeah. So they aren't the same thing. Whereas Palestinians in general, as far as I know, makes no difference. How does it make no difference? Could you explain that to me? Because once again, the point is they're native. So define native for me. Because they came over on a land bridge. They aren't native. Exactly, yeah. So are you saying that, Palestinians aren't native? Is that what are you telling me that Palestinians aren't native? And once again, I'll just put it this way, that Ashkenazis are allowed to go in there? Yeah, once again, though, they crossed over on a land bridge. They aren't native. The only things that are native are plants. That's the only thing that's native to a country, if you want to look at it that way. Plants and maybe some very few animals. It's like, yeah, cows and chickens and pigs, they aren't necessarily native to any country. So, tell me about it, That's... I'm not some pro-American, but the thing is, it's just, the left in the West is utterly... Yeah, once again, that's the one point I agree with you on. Yeah, the left in the West, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I really don't get this line of argumentation. Plant nationalism for the win. Yeah, exactly. I really don't get this, though. I really don't, I'm trying to have I'm trying to give you some good faith here, but I really don't get this. I'll just be dead honest with you. I don't get it. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yep, put on Glasnow video in the background. Yeah. Mexican autonomy against America and secularism in schools. Yeah. Like I say, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, Kyle's jaw. Are you trying to troll or what are you trying to do? Yeah. Did you leave? I can't. Is there a way that I can find? Well, let me see if I can go on here right quick. Okay. Well, you said that you think Arabs should decide what should happen in Israel, which is a crazy idea. Why? Why is it a crazy idea? Why is it a crazy idea? Because once again, they ruled that land for quite a long time. They would wipe out Israel. How do you know? How do you know? This is one of those types of things of dare I say it, but this is kind of like with white folks being afraid. Well, why are you afraid of black folks taking over? Are you afraid that they would kill them all? How do you know? How do you know, sir? How do you know? Is it because that's what Israelis are doing to the Palestinians? Is that what you're saying? Is that Israel is trying to wipe out the Palestinians, and maybe the various Arabic peoples will want to feel the same way towards that? It sounds kind of like poetic justice to me. That sounds like poetic justice to me, sir. That's already happening in the United States. How do you feel if I said some hostile race can do whatever they want to your country? That's already happening. That's already happening in the United States. And also, yeah. You wouldn't like what I think. I know fairly well what you think. So you think that Israel is justified in its existence because of what? Why is it justified? Because they had that land for however much time? How am I misinformed about the history of Israel? Okay, how long ago? Okay, so who? So they deserve the land because they can? Because they should? Because they think that they are better stewards of it? The thing is, once again, yeah, you can't criticize Israel. That tells you all you need to know. Yeah, exactly. So no. So you could tell me all day about the history of Israel. Can you tell me this? Are all Israelis, are all people of Jewish descent equal in Israel? Can you tell me that? Can you answer that simple question? Just like whites conquered America? Okay, once again, are all Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews treated as equally as Ashkenazi Jews? Because as far as I'm concerned, the Mizrahi Jews and the Sephardic Jews are considered minorities and considered second-class citizens compared to Ashkenazi Jews. Correct? Proving Israelis' creation was one of Stalin's few mistakes. Yep, exactly. So tell me about that. So you keep saying that you're going to be wiped out, this and that. No, but they're better off with Israel. Are you? Oh, so you admit. Hold on. So are you admitting now that they aren't treated that well in Israel? The thing is, I remember this video where, they were showing how Jewish Russian emigres or Russian Jewish emigres went to Israel and they were living in slums. Are you saying that they're better off living in Israel than in Russia? Really? They do? They have a better lives in Israel than in Arab countries. Really? 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 Oh, hold on. So is that living better than in Arab nations? Does that look better than an Arab nation? A huge wall? Let's see here. And, these constant destruction of, is this living better than an Arab nation? Is this living better than an Arab nation? Yes. Yes. This is better living than an Arab nation. This is living better than an Arab nation. This right here. Having your house torn down is better than living in Iran, apparently, or living in Saudi Arabia, or whichever, Syria's, trying to level itself off. But let's see here. That's better than living in, really. Unlike the rest of Palestine, its territory is surrounded. Yeah. Really? Really? That's ridiculous to me. Yeah. So I really don't get this though. So let me ask you this then. Are you like that Zarathustra's serpent? Are you one of his followers? Arabs have more rights in Israel than their own countries? Really? Really? So Arabs vote for their homes to be torn down? They do? Arabs vote for their homes to be torn down? That's a simple yes or no question. So do Arabs vote for that? They vote for this to happen? 5,000 Palestinian homes destroyed by Israel. They vote for that, huh? Arabs vote for that. The Palestinians vote for that. Is that right? They vote for this to happen. Israeli forces demolished 41 Palestinian homes in the past 2 weeks. This is from May 10th, 2019. They vote for that. Really? They vote for their homes to be destroyed because they have more rights in Israel than their own countries. They have so many more rights. I should read a book on Israel. Okay. Yeah, read the bottom. Yeah, also Tracy de Ben-Shapir. Arabs expelled Jews from almost all their countries. Well, why was that? Why do you think that was? You think it was just jealousy, or what was it? What was it? Why do you think that they were kicked out? It was just jealousy. It was just anti-Semitism. What was it? I'm genuinely asking. You think it was just purely anti-Semitism and that's it. They were just jealous. I just want to make sure. Here, yeah. Yeah. Along with Stalin, yeah. They also play porn on Palestinian TV, but not Israel. Yeah, exactly. Yep, play porn as well. Yeah, that's true. Well, did you go, little buddy? Did little buddy go away? Did he go away? Is he gonna send me a book recommendation? Are you gonna send me a book recommendation on Israel and how they really deserve the land because it was theirs thousands of years ago, but it was okay, but it's not okay for them? Because apparently it's a false, it's a false equivalency to think, oh well, it's okay for Israel to have this land, but it's not okay for the Germans to get that because they were mean to the Slavs. That's some, whew. I mean, if that was some gymnastics right there, if that was some gymnastics, I think he would get a perfect 10. Yeah. Israel plays porn on Palestine. That's true. That is true. Did he go away? I think he did. Like I say, I gave him his fair share. I thought I did. I don't know if I held up that well necessarily, but I don't get this whole type of thing where it's like, they're going to wipe out everybody. They're going to wipe out everybody. So maybe, has that ever completely happened? I don't know. Yeah. So Tel Aviv and Jerusalem are the home of all all Jewish people, and considering what the Germans did in World War II, it's understandable that Slavs expelled them. Well, what did the Israelites do to the Arabs? What did the Israelites do to the Arabs? Were the Israelites just perfectly? You know what? Let's go ahead and let's look at that history right quick. Let's look at Israelites. Oops, sorry, I cannot spell. Israelites' treatment of Arabs. Arab citizens of Israel. Racism in Israel. Let's see here. Israelites. Okay, so let's do King David on Arabs. Let's do that. Because you keep talking about this history and just, yeah. The biblical David. Okay, let's look at this here. Jewish Voice. Let's see here. Arab terrorists now taking refuge in King David Street. King David Hotel. Yeah, that's another good one. Is King David in the Quran? Let's see here. Mentioned 16 times in the Quran, David appears in the Islamic scripture as a link in the chain of prophets who preceded Muhammad. Although he is not usually considered one of the law-giving prophets, he is far from a marginal figure in Islamic thought. Who was, according to the Hebrew Bible, the second king of the United Kingdom of Israel and Judah, is also venerated in Islam as a prophet. Huh. So King David was a Muslim, it sounds like. Inshallah. Let's see here. Let's make sure I'm reading this right. So David killed... Oh, no, thank you. Let's take a look here. So David killed Goliath and received a divine revelation in the Psalms, used an indefinite, yeah. It's one of the few Islamic prophets who received kingship as well. While other prophets proceeded during the reign of kings, yeah, when the Caliph Umar visited Jerusalem, the patriarch, narrated Abdullah bin, Allah told me the most beloved prayer, the book of David. Huh. Well, there you go. Let's see here. Judaism came before Islam and Christianity. That's not necessarily true, is it? What is this? What is this thing called Islam then? Jews came first, Arabs came later. If you are forcibly expelled from your native home and prevented from returning for multiple generations, have you lost your right of return because you are saying yes? So hold on. So you keep saying about whites and natives. So tell me how long, so give me an exact, can you give me a rough estimate of how long it takes for you to become native? 1,000 years or 2,000 years, or what is it that that makes you native? I'll just wait for a response on that. How long does it take for you to become native to a land? How long do your ancestors have to be here to be native? I'll wait for a response on that. It's fascinating to say the least. At least 10 generations. Okay. So that can never be broken. I just want to make sure here. That can never be broken, right? So according to this, let's see here. The history, and like I say, once again, it's Wikipedia. Don't take it with a grain of salt, but let's see here. So the Eastern Mediterranean seaboard, the Levant, stretches for 400 miles. Philistines, Phoenicians, and Israelites. So it sounds like Israel was not the only nation. I mean, this is kind of getting into the Nordkuk type of thing, you know. Israel Finkelstein proposed that the oval or circular layout that distinguishes some of the earliest highland sites and notable absence of pig bones from hillsides could be taken as markers of ethnicity. But others have cautioned that these can be a common sense adaptation to highland life. The Iron Age, huh? Egyptian pharaohs, Babylonian period, Persian period, yeah, Hellenistic, Alexander the Great. I don't think he was Jewish. I don't think he was. This sounds like they didn't really have it that long, did they? It's a right of conquest. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they returned by slaughtering the natives. Yep. The thing is, once native peoples, the thing is, Kyle's jaws, that your argument is going to become invalid because as soon as native tribes actually get land back, which, as far as I can see, is going to happen in the United States, especially in eastern Oklahoma, once they get land back, your argument isn't going to be worth that much when you make this comparison and say, oh, look at what whites did to the Native Americans. It's nothing like what we did. You know, we are the native peoples of this land. Was it native? The thing is, I mean, once again, this is the distance that you have with traditionalism, this and that. Well, according to, you know, that you should be eating matzo ball soup and all that every day, and you know, you shouldn't involve yourself in, you know, all this capitalist trade and everything. You know, you shouldn't be doing that, right? And you should, you know, but of course, you know, those folks that do try to live that way, you know, those ultra-Orthodox Jews, those guys are persecuted. Nope. Nope, I didn't say that at all. I'm saying is that once they get their land back, or once they get land back, your argument means nothing. Once they get land, so you were saying Native Americans getting conquered and losing their territory just like the Palestinians, it's okay because Native Americans are made up of multiple. No, once again, you are putting words in my mouth. They're going to get their land back. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Have you not seen what has happened in eastern Oklahoma? They are able to now, they are free from prosecution federally. They are free from prosecution federally. Native tribes do not get to be, you know, are not subject to federal laws. So what are you talking about? What are you saying, sir? They're going to get their land back. All of it? They had all of it. Really? All of it? I don't think that's true at all. Once again, let's see where, because I mean, so far I'm reading here a lot. I've seen a lot of Greek names. I'm not seeing many Jewish names, this and that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of that. You know, I don't really get it. You know, where it's like you know. Once again, the various tribes are getting their land back, whereas you seem to be taking land from the Palestinians, and you're committing genocide against these people, regardless of who came there first or not. So I don't really get this. I don't really get it. I don't get it. You are an imperialist and a colonialist. So are you. They were 100% of the population, and then you think they like that? They were 100% of the population. That's not even true. That's not even true at all. Hey, dude, there are more Palestinians today than 20 years ago. Let's see here. Whoa. How could that be, though? Because they have less land. That doesn't make any sense. What's this? What's this one? Israeli-Palestinian Procon.org says, and I'm seeing a lot of these other charts, and I have to put it all into perspective here, but let's see here. It looks like the population has been growing. So why isn't it that the Arabic peoples don't get to choose what they do? Did King David say it was okay to start shooting Palestinian children? Nope. Once again, what am I downplaying with colonialism? The thing is, you are doing colonialism right now in Israel. That is colonialism. You are forcing the Palestinians to live by your rules. You have a wall up. What can you explain to me what anti-imperialist country has a wall? But with Palestinians it's wrong? You're making a false equivalency, aren't you? There was a real genocide? Yeah, I don't think I denied that, did I? Did I deny that? But it wasn't a nation by itself, was it? It was various nations. I can't. When did I say they didn't exist? When did I say they didn't exist, Kyle's Jaw? You sound like a retard, bro. You can make up what you did to the Palestinians. So how about you do that? Why don't you give them their land back, and I'll give and we'll give the land back to the natives. How about that? And you know what? We're going to move to Israel. How about that? Can we move to Israel? Can you let us in? Can you let us into Israel, Kyle's Jaw? Because it sounds like you have a lot of sympathy there. You want to let us into Israel? Are you gonna let us in? Because obviously they don't want us in Europe. Various European countries. Do you think they want us back? Can you answer me that? You want me to come back? You want me to go to Israel, sir? You want me to convert to Judaism and come to Israel? Is that what you want from me? Like I say, you even admitted yourself that once again that the Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews are treated horribly in Israel. Horribly. Once again, you want to talk about some racism. Yeah, do I deny the United States was racist and that the native tribes were treated horribly? I'm not going to deny that. But what is Israel doing today? Let me go ahead and show you. Israelis. Israelis' treatment of Mizrahi Jews. Let's see what we got here. Mizrahi Jews, racism in Israel. Here we go. Racism on the part of Israeli Jews among Muslim Arabs in Israel exists in institutional policies, personal attitudes, the media, education, immigration rights, housing, social life, legal policies. Some elements within the Ashkenazi Israel Jewish population have also been described as holding discriminatory attitudes towards fellow Jews of other backgrounds, including against Ethiopian Jews, Indian Jews, Mizrahi Jews, Sephardi Jews, etc. Although intermarriage between Ashkenazi and Sephardim and Mizrahim is increasingly common in Israel, and social integration is constantly improving, disparities continue to persist. So why isn't it that you can't even help fellow Jews? Why isn't it that you can't help fellow Jews there, Kyle's Jaw? Can you explain that to me? Why is there Israel amongst Jews? Why can't they all get along? Why can't they? Can you explain that to me? Why is there a huge disparity? Why? It's okay for... So once again, we go mask off here and say, it's okay for me that Native Americans were conquered. What I don't like is hypocrisy, and refusing to acknowledge that the same happened and is happening in the country you live in is hypocritical. It's hypocritical that you don't seem to acknowledge that things are changing around the world and things are changing in the United States. So what are you even talking about? Once again, natives are not one thing in the United States. They are not one thing like the Palestinians. They are not one thing. I'm going to have to scream into the mic because apparently you don't know. They are not the same thing, are they? Cherokees see things differently than Navajos. Comanches see things different than the Squamish tribe. They're all different. Can you acknowledge that? Versus Palestinians, which are considerably, in general, are one thing, or at least very similar, interconnected things. To say that indigenous people in the United States are one thing is nonsense. Muslims don't get along with other Muslims sharing the same religion. Fair enough. Okay, yeah, make that person your ally. Skin color is the most important factor. Yep. Exactly. And once again, it appears that white Israelis are more important than dark-skinned Israelis. Dark-skinned Israelis are not really accepted, you know. your Ethiopians and everything else. I don't really get what you're talking about here. Why are we, you know what, let's go back to this original point. Why are you afraid of being conquered? Why are you afraid of Israel changing? Why are you afraid of that? Why are you afraid of that? I'm no longer afraid of it. I said let the United States break up into various countries and they can decide what to do. Why is Israel an exception? Why? Why isn't it an exception? Why shouldn't Israel be taken over as well? Why should it be an exception? Can you explain that to me? Why are you so afraid of this? Why are you so afraid of that? The United States is going to break up, and if white people disappear, so what? I don't even care at this point. So what? But why is it so important for Jews to have that piece of land? Why is that? Why is it so important? I don't get it. Why is that so important? I'll wait for a response. Why are you so afraid of Arabs getting like, oh, it's insane, it's insane. And yet Israel has been in a constant state of war from the first day. Settler colonialism for me, but not for thee. So, once again, I explained this already. The United States is probably going to break up into various countries. Are you really going to Jay-Sakai me right now? Are you really going to Jay-Sakai me right now, Kyle's job? Like I say, I said all that, but you didn't want to give me a response. You just want to give a little quip. Is that all you're capable of? Is that all you're capable of? You know what? Let's go ahead and do this right here. I'll know if you're serious if I let you in the chat. Here. I'll drop the link in. There's the link. Why don't you come in and talk to me about it? Why don't you come on here and we can talk about it? There's the link right there. You can come in and go ahead and spew this. Go ahead and tell me all about how Israel is great and, everything else. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll wait. You've admitted that you don't even care about Native Americans, and yet you just don't like hypocrisy. But I'll wait. I'll wait. Because of these language barriers, yeah. I'll wait. Doodle-doodle-doo. I'll wait and see when you decide to come on, Biggin. Or if you just decide to leave. Either way, I'll wait. I'll wait. I got a little bit of time. Doodle-doodle-doo. I'll wait. You said that you don't care about natives, though. You only care about the hypocrisy, right? You don't care about what happened to Native Americans. You're just using it as a talking point. That's all you're doing. You said yourself is that you don't care about what happens to them. Why is it that you keep bringing this up? Why do you keep bringing this up? The thing is, like I say, your argument is going to end once the United States breaks up and these various native tribes get their land back and everything else. Your cheap excuse for what goes on in Israel with their settler colonialism by invading legitimate countries like Lebanon back in 1982 is going to be useless. Remember that? Remember when Israel decided to invade Lebanon back in 1982 and then in 2006 and they got whooped? You know, you remember that? Apparently that wasn't settler colonialism because I guess that used to be Israelite territory, Lebanon. Is that what it was? Is that what you're going to tell me? Yeah, of course it was bad, but every country in the world was invaded. Just, yeah, all of them are just America. Yeah. So explain that to me. Let me ask you this then. I'll just bring up this other point. So was invading Lebanon a form of settler colonialism, or was it retaking previously owned land? That's an excuse. You're making an excuse. So tell me about the invasion of Lebanon. Tell me about that. What do you think about that? Do you think that was an invasion, or was it just retaking previously held Israelite territory? Or is Lebanon even a legitimate country? Answer me that. Please do. Do you think that, supporting and that Syria is also part of that land that really belongs to the Israelites? Do you think that that's the case? Do you think that's a form of settler colonialism as well? You think that is? I'll wait. I'll wait for a response. I mean, apparently you can't come on because you're on your phone. I mean, it sounds like an excuse, but yeah, go ahead. Prove me wrong. Please tell me. Answer the question. Is Palestine retaking land? Oh, really? So it's not an invasion. It is an imperialism to come into Lebanon. Is that right? So to come into Lebanon is just retaking land. Really? So there's no native people that lived in Lebanon before that. It was all Israelite land. It's okay. Is that what you're going to tell me? I feel like you are either a high-level troll or just one of the weakest Zionists I've heard, because you, like I say, you've already admitted that you don't care about the natives, but you just don't admire the hypocrisy of it. And then, of course, we're talking about Lebanon, and you say it's retaking land. I'm really trying to make sense of this, because this is this is nuts. But you know what? I say this is a good thing because it helps me to argue a bit better. But yeah, I guess invading Lebanon is okay because you're just retaking land because, it's okay, I guess. I'll wait for a response. Is Lebanon a legitimate country? There's your question. I'll just simplify it to that. I've thrown a lot at you, but I'll be very specific. Is Lebanon a legitimate country, or is it simply part of the Israelite Empire? More Lebanese live outside of Lebanon? Yeah, okay. So I'll just make sure here. Well, I mean, you could say that, with that Autarkic People's Republic, you could say the same thing about Poles. There are probably more Polish people. Better people have always conquered lesser people. Oh, really? Oh, really? It's a way of history. They have a tree on their flag, yeah. Oh, really? Better people have always conquered lesser people. So would you just say? So you would say that the Crusades and the forces of the Crusades were better people because they conquered Israel. Might makes right. Okay. So the thing is that once again, if Israel loses, once again, that might makes right. It only goes so far because the thing is that they lost in the Lebanese war in 2006, correct? So their might is right. And the IDF got their asses whooped by Hezbollah. Inshallah to them. But yeah. So would you say that might makes right? Would you say that if Israel does get conquered, then might makes right, doesn't it? Might makes right, and it's, the way of better people taking over. So if better people took over Israel, then it doesn't make a difference, does it? Inshallah, yeah, Nazballah, exactly. So tell me about that. Tell me about it. I'll wait. I'll wait for a response. But yeah, you seem like a very the Arab countries stand no chance against Israeli militarily. That's a matter of opinion, isn't it? Read the Samson option. You know what I would say is, why is it that the Russian missiles are better than the American-made missiles? Can you explain that to me? Can you explain that to me? Why the Russian-made missiles, which countries like Syria are using, are better than the American-made ones that the Israelis are using? Israel got supported by USA, Europe, Turkey, and Azerbaijan. Exactly. Yep, that's true. Why? Hold on. So why do they need to nuke the rest of the Middle East? Why do they need to nuke it? If might makes right and better people take over, then why do you need to be a pansy about it and just say, I'm going to just nuke people because Israel's lost? Might makes right. Might makes right. And if that's the case, then there's no reason to be sad. All you have to say is don't hate the player, hate the game. Then Israel lost realistically. That's just sour grapes, isn't it? That's just sour grapes, isn't it, Kyle's Jaw? That's just sour grapes to say, I'm just going to nuke stuff because I can't get along with other people. Huh? Sounds like you deserved it. It's not even might, it's trickery. Yep, that's true. It really is trickery, yeah. Israel has a nuclear triad. They're too afraid to use it, at least in my view. They're too afraid to use it. It's mostly the USA, which makes a lot of excuses for Israel. That's true. That is true. Israel can't get free healthcare without America. Israel will fall if America doesn't give them the goods, yes. So why is there let's go back to this question here, Kyle's Jaw, since you're not going to come on here. But so why is it that there's racism amongst different types of Jews? Why is that? Shouldn't all Jews get along? Shouldn't they all be accepted into Israel and be given equal rights? Shouldn't they be? Why aren't they? Can you tell me that? Yep. Kyle's Jaw, you just seem like a very weak Zionist to me. It's like you seem like one of these wignats that used to be. Let me ask you this, Kyle's Jaw. You know what? I got another question for you. I keep on waiting for a response, partly because this is slow, but also because you just seem very low IQ. And I'm pretty low IQ myself, but narcissism of small differences, that's inappropriate. That's pretty racist, isn't it? Let me ask you this, Kyle's Jaw. Did you used to be a wignat? I just want to make sure here. Did you used to be a wignat? Did you used to be one of those guys? Ashkenazi are the most intelligent. It's a matter of opinion. They're also quite, you know what? I'm not even going to go there because that's more of a wignat statement. But why? Did you used to be one of these wignats who was like, Europa, this and that, and then you just sort of came in the back door to become a Zionist? Is that what you used to be? Because I have a feeling that you probably did. Is that what you did? You used to be a wignat, was like Europa this, Europa that, and then you just became a Zionist. Is that what you did? I'm curious at this point. Oh, I'll wait. Waiting for a response. Never liked Wignats. Far right trad. And yet you say that Ashkenazis are the smartest people. That's kind of that feeds into the idea of Wignats as it is. You do realize that, right? Only Wignats talk about IQ. I always disliked anti-Semites. Oh, really? Yeah, but there are people that support, hold on. Let me ask you this, since you brought up the idea of anti-Semite. Semitic people, using that term is very complicated because that can include people who are from Syria, people that are from Lebanon, folks that are from other countries like that. They're considered Semitic as well, right? Yeah, Palestinians are Semitic as well. Yeah, that's true. No, what I'm saying is that the idea that you use, the idea of IQ, is a Wignat thing in general, and that is more of a. Are you one of these HBD guys, human biodiversity sorts of guys? Yeah. But the ADO creates more every single day. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So once again, when you say Semitic peoples, that includes Syrians, that includes Palestinians, that includes Lebanese. You do realize that, right? So they are all Semitic peoples. So why can't you just simply get along with other peoples? If they're all Semitic, why is it that they have different IQ traits? Why is this? I mean, explain that to me, please. Please explain that to me. If they're all Semitic peoples, no, it's annoying to you, but to everyone else, well, no, it's tiresome to you because you have to come up with the actual, you're upset because now you have to, because you use the term anti-Semitism. So explain it to me then. So what is the difference in IQ then between the various Semitic peoples? Because obviously Semitic peoples include Syrians, as I said, Lebanese, Palestinians. So why isn't that you? Then why does it bother you? It's a cheap gotcha that I'm tired of. Well, then why don't you come up with a good argument against it? So far, you've given me nothing. Why are you not giving me anything to talk about this? Why? Oh, it's a cheap gotcha. Well, then come up with a better response. Come up with a better argument. You're not coming up with an argument at all. It's just like, I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing it. Then come up with a better argument then, and I won't use it. That's all you got to tell me. Why don't you come up with a better argument to it? I'll wait. I'll wait. Why don't you give me a better argument to that response then? And to say what it actually means. I'll wait. Oh, I don't get it though. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand it. Just going to unplug the microphone. You got people's living, lives being disassembled because they said that said some stupid shit online. Yeah. Hatred instead of anti-Semitism. But you used the term in the first place. You used the term anti-Semitism in the first place. And once again, as you implied, hold on. As you implied, though, is that once again, Jews are not all treated the same. So to say, once again, this idea that being Jewish is an identity is not valid, because as we know, as you have admitted, that Mizrahi Jews and Sephardic Jews are not even treated the same in Israel. So it's Ashkenazi hatred. It's Ashkenazi hatred. It's not J hatred, as you put it. It's Ashkenazi hatred. Because obviously Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews are also hated by larger Israeli society, right? So once again, that's what it really means, isn't it? We've refused to use the term mankind because then it's not inclusive to women. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything at all? As I've already pointed out, that why isn't it that all Jewish people can't be united? Why is that? Why is it that, and you say, of course, that Ashkenazis are smarter. They aren't. My knowledge of Israel is very poor. Then tell me why is it that Israel pushes for these folks to come in? The Sephardic Jews and the Mizrahi. Tell me. Explain to me why. Why did they allow this to happen? Why? If they are so hated, you're brainwashed by that's not an argument. That's not an argument, Kyle's Jaw. You gotta give me an argument. Why is it that all Jews are not treated equal in Israel? Let's get back to this point. Why is that? Why are they not all treated the same? Why are they being beaten in the streets? Why? Why is it that the ultra-Orthodox who refuse to be part of the military, why are they beaten up? Why? Because that's a very narrow definition, isn't it, that you have? A very narrow group of people that you say. I don't understand it. Why? I'll wait. I'll wait for a response. The thing is, I could have my book, I could have one of your book recommendations right in front of me and read it. And you'll say, well, and if it was disparaging, you'd say, well, that's just a bad passage. All I know is that fish can't leave the water. Yep, exactly. So explain it to me, please. I'm trying. I'm upset, but ultimately I'm trying to understand your position, because ultimately you don't seem to be doing very well in describing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. So why preach equality and then do the opposite? Well, because that's what Americans are good at. That's what we're good at. But yeah, all Muslims are not going to. Yeah, that's true. But why is that, though? Israel is our greatest ally, then they did nothing wrong. So then give me a response as to why that is, then. You know, I'm waiting for a response from this guy, and he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to talk to me on stream in reference to the Jewish guy. Yeah. He doesn't want to talk to me on stream. He just says, I have a poor understanding of Israeli history, and yet he doesn't give me any references. He doesn't give me any references to give. Just give me one. The revolutionary can't do without the Communist Party. Yeah. Give me one instance. That's all I'll wait for. I'll wait for one instance of what he's trying to talk about that is that that the controlling of Israel as it is today is justified. Just one thing. That isn't from Theodore Herzl, you know? I'll just wait for a response. I'll put it this way. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but, you know, Kyle's Jaw, have you ever read The Jewish Question by Theodore Herzl? Are you in line with what he wrote about? I'll just make sure here. I'll wait. I will wait for a response. Mao Zedong that the sun always shines. Yep. Equality is equal. Yeah. Equality is equality. Nobody gets special treatment except for the dolphins because they are more equal. Yeah. I'll wait. I think he's gone. I think he's gone. Maybe my intense low IQ argument did it to him. You know, I'll just wait. I guess he's gone. I'll wait though. I'll just make sure, because he seems, once again, he'll post like, 4 or 5 messages in a row. And then when I ask him some questions, he just like, he goes silent, and then he's like, well, I'm on my phone. Well, you're still okay. Well, answer my questions then. Answer my question then. So give me a, you say I have a poor understanding of Israeli history. Okay. Then give me an idea. Give me a point of view of where the creation of Israel is justified that isn't Theodore Herzl. I'll wait. Once again, I'll wait for a response. Give me something. Give me one reference point. Give me something that I can look at. I don't know what it's about. You don't know what Israeli history is about? You said that I had a poor understanding of it. You don't know what it's about? You don't know what Israeli history is about, but you claim to be fighting against it. You're saying that I have a poor understanding of it. Then give me one reference point that shows the legitimacy of Israel today. Give me one. Let's just go for a beer, and I'll come back when Kyle's jaw decides to give a response. I'll wait. I'll wait. Give me one thing that justifies it. Because apparently it sounds like, King David was respected by Muslims. And of course he says, oh, well, that didn't really happen. The Quran is wrong. I'm really trying to understand it. I'll wait. I'll wait for any sort of thing to justify it. Give me one idea. Give me one piece of history. Let me see here. We'll just go ahead and click on this here. We'll look at David, the biblical David. Third king of the United Monarchy. Okay, here we go. So let's look at this United Monarchy of Israel and Judea. Let's look at that. Kingdom of Israel. Given to the Israelite kingdom. According to standard source criticism, several distinct texts. Okay. Anachronisms. Like I say, today part of Israel, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, and Syria. Larger, yep, so there we are, the greater Israel idea. Israel Finkelstein, The Bible Unearthed. Is this what I need to read? Do I need to read books like The Bible Unearthed? Ideas of a United Monarchy is not accurate history, but creative expressions of a powerful religious reform movement. So there was never a united monarchy in Israel. Or in this kingdom of Israel, a monarchy. So why isn't Israel a monarchy anymore? I'll wait for that. So should Israel be a monarchy again? Because obviously that would be more historically accurate, right? Excavations, radiocarbon dated. Book of Judges, based on the rise of the United Monarchy of the Israelite tribes lived as confederation under ad hoc charismatic leaders called judges. Okay. To rule over the decentralized Israelite confederacy, increasing pressure from the Philistines and neighboring peoples is said to have forced the Israelites to unite as a state after the anointing of Saul by Samuel. Okay. Civil War, political bias, Golden Age, city of Shiloh. Shiloh. Hebron. David is succeeded by his son Solomon. Biblical chronology. The system of judges that was replaced by a monarchy. Yeah. Well, like I say, Kyle's Jar, are you still here or are you gone? Because I was just going to end the stream because this is kind of getting tiring. Kind of like, you're tiring of me bringing up these ideas that Semitic only means this, but you couldn't really give me a response to it other than, I'm annoyed by it. I'm tired of arguing against it, but you couldn't give me an argument against it, which is kind of lazy. It's just like, all you can do is just agree with me because I'm correct. But, okay, well, like I say, my question? Well, my question is, should Israel be a monarchy again? I'll just answer that because obviously, according to this, they should be a monarchy, right? So should Israel be a monarchy again? I'll just answer that because obviously the house of Saul, suicide. Oh boy, let's take a look at this here. So let's look at Saul here. First king of the United Kingdom of Israel and Judah. He fell on his sword, committing suicide to avoid capture in the battle against the Philistines. So the Philistines may have more of a connection than Jews, really. Biblical criticism. Let's see what the criticism is of this guy. Reverse logic, all this type of thing. Improve your reading comprehension. No, it should be a Torah theocracy. Oh, really? It should be a Torah theocracy. No. Why should that be? The thing is that, once again, that wouldn't be realistic. I believe that even people like, let me ask you this then. So they should wear shawls. So you're saying a Torah theocracy so women should wear shawls as they had beforehand. They should so they should have the dukkening in churches. I can't think, but yeah, basically where they're wailing and all that type of thing. So you support more of the more traditionalist school of Judaism, is that right? Talmud is a commentary, yeah. Really? Huh. So why is it that the Hasidics are treated so bad in Israel? Why is that? Why is it that those guys didn't get charged? Yeah, but why didn't they take charge of the government? Why don't they take charge of the government? So you're against Reform Judaism? I just want to make sure here. The religious will soon be in charge. Oh, really? Really? Even though they're a minority, even though they get beaten up and they are disliked by most of the population, they're outbreeding the secular ones. So, hold on. Let me ask you this as a question then. The religious will soon be in charge. Couldn't some of those ultra-Orthodox also become Reform Judaists? Become Reformed Jews as well? Couldn't that be possible? Catholic Kingdom, Islamic Caliphate, Byzantine Empire, Jewish theocracy. Yeah. So I'll just make sure here. Is this kind of like the idea? Well, once again, hold on. Now, you said earlier that Palestinians were outbreeding Israelis. We'll use that term. So wouldn't the Palestinians take over because there's more of them than even the religious Jews, right? Yeah, that's a good question. That's an interesting question from Autarkic People's Republic. What do you think of Nurai Karta? What do you think about that group? Well, no, they're outbreeding them. Isn't that what you said? Isn't that what you said? What did you say then? Let's clarify then. What did you actually say and what did you mean by it? Oh, wait. Nothing but a Zionist pay bot. Yeah, Israel has those things. Well, that's fine. Oh. So you are the arbiter of Jewish people, huh? Okay. That's interesting. So you are. Wow. So there can't be an ongoing genocide. Well, apparently they're outbreeding the native Israelis, though, right? So they're outbreeding them, right? So there can't be a genocide. Then you will get replaced, right? Isn't that the whole idea, Kyle's Jaw? So Palestinians will take over demographically. Palestinians will take over Israel demographically because there are less children being born. And even the Hasidics, which is a fairly small group, right? Right? I mean, tell me that. I'll just wait. I'll wait for your response. Please do. I mean, I'll wait for your response and see. Oh, this is like what? It's like waiting for paint to dry here pretty soon. Yeah, this is like watching paint dry. But I'll wait for your response. You know what? I'll go ahead and cut it in about 15 minutes, okay? How about that? We're going to cut it at 15 minutes, and then we're going to call it good. All right? That sounds good. I've given enough time to this, but yeah, please do. I'd love getting paid by the Israeli government for doing this, but I don't. Okay. Well, then please tell me. Tell me then. If you said that there is population increasing, and there can't be an ongoing genocide, that means that eventually Palestinians will overtake the Israeli population, right? Isn't that what that means? Because once again, Israel also supports a lot of LGBTQ laws as well. Vibrant gay community in Israel. Very vibrant. And I don't think that you're going to magically replace that with some theocracy because they're, yeah. Yep. And what? And Israel has a vibrant gay scene. You're going to overdo that? You're going to overturn that? I don't think you are. Right? I don't think religious theocracy is going to overturn that. Do you? Correct me where I'm wrong. Oh, Kyle's Jaw. Silly, silly man. Yep. A lot of theocrats do degenerate shit behind closed doors. That is true. That is true. It's just going to be behind closed doors. But yeah, Kyle's Jaw, you seem very weak in your argument. You know what? I'm just going to give it about 5 more minutes and I'm going to leave. Because Kyle's Jaw, you're very boring. You are very boring. And you're also very tiresome. I have enjoyed this argument, though. I have enjoyed it. Because it does give me some food for thought. But Kyle's Jaw, your arguments are very weak. I don't really see what the point of any of this is, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that, you kind of did what I used to do when I was trolling on YouTube, where it's just like, I just started to ask silly questions, and then I went further and further in. But you just seem to be like, oh, well, it's just tiresome and stuff like that. Even I found there was a point where I would just leave. But you just seem to just want to stay here and continue to take it. I don't understand it. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to stay here and continue to take it? Do you think that you're winning over some of my audience by doing this? Are you one of these guys where it's like, I don't want to platform, the bad people, but if I go on their stream, then I'm radicalizing their audience? Is that what you're trying to do? I'll wait for a response on that. But I will end it in about 5 minutes, though. Because this is tiring. Very tiring. I'll wait. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna solve this. We're gonna solve this Israel-Palestine conflict. Yeah, we're gonna solve it right now. Damn it. Yeah, we're going to. I'll wait. I'll wait. Solve the Korean conflict then. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll wait. Kyle's Jaw, you don't want to play, do you? You're not very fun to play with, Kyle's Jaw. You're not very fun. I keep reading these things, and then it's like, oh, but your reading comprehension is bad. And it's like, it's always that way, isn't it? Where it's just like, well, you should read this stuff, and but you need to learn how to, your reading comprehension is shit. It's like, then of course, then if I read something perfectly, then you're like, well, that 3 Zionists have disliked the stream. Wow, 3, huh? 3. Wow. All right. And Iran versus Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I'll wait. Are you done playing? Are you done playing with me, Kyle's Jaw? Are you done playing? Because before I just ignored you, but yeah. Are you done playing with me, Kyle's Jaw? Mass disliking coming. Yeah, probably. Okay. Well, Kyle's Jaw, I'm kind of bored. I think I've said my piece and everything, but I appreciate everyone that's been in the chat. I don't feel like going over the names, but yeah. Autarky People's Republic, Colonel Autism, Will DeMarco, No Libs, Please 1975, Red Dundonian, Union Army Ball was in the chat earlier, including, Kyle's Jaw. He didn't want to play anymore. That's okay. He took his ball and went home. That's okay. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to keep it there. Let's go ahead and pick out a good ending. Let's go ahead and just, we're going to go ahead and do this outro. Why not? We're going to do the Katyusha outro. Apologies if the audio doubles. Here we go. See you later, folks. Goodbye.
Пусть он вспомнит девушку простую, пусть услышит, как она поет, пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет.